I am a very meticulous planner. I arguably love planning more than I love actually doing things, which is to a fault sometimes, but when it comes to planning for the new year, I eat that shit up. I love it so much. So today we're going to be planning my 2025, and I'm going to do this in Notion. I'm going to screen share and show you the entire step because I personally like the way I do this. I haven't seen anybody else necessarily do it exactly the same as me, so I don't know. We're just going to talk through it. I'm going to show you everything. I'm going to give you all of the juicy details about what my plans are for 2025. So don't copy me because I'll know it was you. Before we get into it, if you don't know me, my name is Haley and I'm your realistic and balanced bestie, helping you build a stronger brain and body. I do like to do monthly little resets or monthly planning and monthly kind of just getting all my shit together. But the way that I do my monthly planning is by looking at my yearly goals and kind of picking and choosing which things I want to focus on. So if I don't already have everything set up, then I can't properly do my monthly planning because I don't have the big picture goals already set for me. Does that make any sense? So because of this, I have no choice but to plan everything out ahead of time. I know it's a little bit early, we're almost in December, but I like to get a head start because I feel like that just sets me up to be in a good place, because if I waited till the end of December to do this, I would be so stressed out and I would feel like I'm already behind, and that's just not how we want to start our 2025. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull up my Notion page for this. I basically just reduced the monthly planning page that I have to just be about my goals and just give me kind of a baseline that I can start to plan things out here. Okay, I had to stop doing the monthly resets. I started to do them a few months ago and I couldn't keep up with it because my Mac doesn't have enough storage and I was just getting too stressed out and I couldn't figure out how to screen record and set it up correctly. I literally don't know how I did it the first time, so I'm gonna have to just hope and pray and cross my fingers that I can figure this one out when I'm editing it, because otherwise I'm fucked. Okay, so basically I have my main page here and I break all of my goals into these 6 categories, and I do that for literally everything for my monthly goals and just my yearly goals. So I have everything here. I put everything into beauty, body, bonds, which is like relationships with other people and with myself, brain, which is anything mental, mindset, things like that that I'm improving, budget, which is any budgeting goals and things like that I have, and business, which is going to be for me anything that's related to growing my business, which is building my app and anything that surrounds that. So that is a lot of content creation and things like that, because that's things that are necessary if you want to grow a business. I try to just all encompass everything into these 6 categories and it's worked really well for me. So I wouldn't put something that's a stepping stone in this big picture goal part. We're gonna put that in the tasks that are related to the big goals. So like one big beauty focused goal that I have is to finish all of my tattoos in 2025. So that's kind of a big picture thing that would involve smaller steps that would be like getting 1 tattoo, getting 2 tattoos. You know what I mean? So you'll see what I mean as I go a little bit further through. So actually what I'm going to do is brain dump all of my big picture goals here so that we can kind of skip through all the bullshit and we're going to really get into the meat and potatoes of how we actually do this. But basically what I do to think of what my big picture goals are sometimes I'll look back at my old journals and things like that. I actually already did that before this video. So I looked back at my planner from this past year and I looked back at just anything that I would have written down or any goals that I would have set or things that I wanted to do. And then if it's still applicable, I'll write it down and put it into my next year goal. Because I didn't really start using Notion until mid to like the last few months of this year, I don't really have something that I can look back on and be like, oh, I want to transfer all these goals to the next year. But I think in the coming years, it's going to be a lot easier for me to do this because I have the basis of this setup already kind of made for me. So I'm just gonna brain dump everything that I can think of and then we will go through it and I'll show you what I do next. Okay, so let's talk through some of my goals really quick. So I tried to keep it under 10 for each category because in total that would be 60 goals, which is not insane, I don't think, but it's a little bit much for an entire year. Again, we want to space this out across the year. There's going to be some things that are more like monthly things that you have to keep up on, but I don't necessarily expect myself to start all of those things right in January and do them every single month. I might start them in March and then commit to doing it every single month. This is not something where I'm like, on January 1st, I'm going to do all these things and I'm going to start all these things and focus on all of them at once. I like to break things up into different focuses at different times. So in the beauty category, like I said, I have finished my tattoos as a big goal. I have a steady maintenance routine as a goal, which means things like a consistent self-tanning routine, a consistent nail routine. Obviously, I am not being good at that right now. Things that are more self-care focused and things that I want to do every single month, every single week, even things that I want to do every single day. So to do that, I'm going to have to kind of figure out what works for me, but that's something that's again going to be done over multiple months and not something that I'm just going to get right off the bat. I also have find a makeup routine that works for me, which similarly I'm not very good at right now, so I want to try to play around and see what I can figure out and maybe watch some videos, do some follow-alongs, all that good stuff. I want to create a capsule wardrobe of basics, not necessarily a full capsule wardrobe, but I want to have basics that are very consistent, very reliable, and things that I know I can throw on with anything. And for those basics, I want to only buy secondhand or good quality basics. I'm not opposed to actually going in and buying things, but I want to make sure that things that I'm buying are actually good quality and they're going to last me. So if you have any recommendations, please let me know, because I honestly have no idea where to start. I am not proud of it, but I am a Shein user. I get a lot of clothes from Shein because it's so cheap and it's just really easy to find things that actually fit me. I am very short, so as a short torso person, it's hard to find pants that work, it's hard to find shirts that work, and I unfortunately find a lot of things that work on Shein that I haven't found in actual stores. So definitely let me know what your opinions are. And I also have look into Botox on here. This is mostly for my masseter muscles. I think whenever I use the mouth guard, I wake up and my jaw is actually sore, and I think it's because I'm literally clenching around the mouth guard at night. So I feel like that's really not helping. So I don't know, I've heard that it can help, but I've also heard that some people have really bad experiences with it. So I definitely need to do my research and just kind of, I don't know, toy with the idea. For body, I have that I want to be able to do 10 pull-ups. This is something that somehow in all of my years of training, 8-9 years now, I cannot successfully do 10 pull-ups in a row. I might get one when I'm lucky, but I want to be able to consistently be like, yeah, I could pop out 10 pull-ups right now. So that is a huge goal of mine. I want to be able to hip thrust 350 pounds for 10 reps, which I definitely should have looked back at my previous training history and things like that and seen what my current PR is, but I know it's nowhere close. Even if I've done it in the past, I know I'm not there right now because my fitness has just not been where I want it to be. So definitely a goal. I want to take a Pilates class once a month. I want to take a yoga class once a week. I need to find a new yoga place because my old yoga place actually shut down, which is very unfortunate for me. So I also want to do a cycling class every other week. I used to love cycling. I had a big phase, but I just kind of fell off. So I'm thinking I might have to do a class pass situation, maybe try out all of these at once and see what works in that area. I also have eat veggies every single day, which I'm embarrassed to admit, but I do have to trick myself into eating veggies like a toddler. So I need to find some more recipes. I need to find some ways to make sure that I'm actually doing that every single day because I am definitely slacking in that area. And lastly, I have get better at golf. I put anything that is in the fitness or physical or health, wellness, anything in that realm into this category because it just makes sense to me. And golf is something that I started doing less than 6 months ago, and I'm not terrible at it, but I wouldn't say that I'm anywhere good enough to even film myself and feel comfortable posting it. For bonds, like I said, this is bonding with other people and with yourself. So I include my relationship with my boyfriend in this. I include my relationship with friends, family, and myself all in this category. So here I have a date night once a month, which is something me and my boyfriend have been really, but I just want to make sure that we're continuing to do new things and try new things. And right now we have it where we swap off every other month. So if I planned October's date, then he plans November, and we just keep going down that pattern every single month. But anyways, definitely need to get a little bit more creative, find some more fun stuff. I have to go on a walk without phones once a week. This is unfortunately going to be something that I can pretty much only do with my boyfriend because as a woman, I'm not going to go on a walk without my phone. That's just not going to happen. But I might try to do something where I'm just not. I have to plan one big trip with my besties. We've been talking about this for a while. It's just never happened. So I definitely want to at least get something on the books in the year 2025. I want to have a staycation. I honestly might want to do a solo staycation and a staycation with my boyfriend just to, spice things up, make things fun. I want to get back into my routine of having a self-care night once a month and really going all out, like full on bath time. I'm watching a movie in the bath. I'm doing a face mask. I'm having a full-blown moment. I need to get back into that because that was prime. I loved it so much. I want to spend time with friends at least once a month, which I've been pretty decent at this year as a whole. Every single month, I definitely haven't, but I think I'm getting a little bit better. I'm kind of really securing the people that I'm consistently hanging out with, and that's been very fun, very exciting, considering this time last year was not confident in my ability to go out and make friends or to have anybody that I trusted. So this has been a very nice change of pace for me. And I would like to plan an anniversary trip with my boyfriend, which our anniversary is in April. So either planning one for that time or just planning one in general that we can use whenever we have time to go on an actual event. For brain, this is going to be anything that's mindset, mindfulness, learning, knowledge, anything in that realm I put into here. So I have Restart Spanish classes, which I had such a good streak on Duolingo a few years ago, and then I lost it and I literally never looked at Spanish ever again because I was so hurt by the fact that I lost this streak. So I need to get back into it. I don't necessarily know if I'll do Duolingo because I feel like that really helped me to read it, but I just feel like I need a little bit more if I actually want to learn the language. So let me know if you have any recommendations on things I can use. I have to read/listen to 50 audiobooks in the entire year that are nonfiction. So I work a desk job. I have a lot of free time to listen to books. I do really like audiobooks. I've kind of gotten out of the habit of listening to them though, and I've been more into podcasts lately. So I really just kind of want to get back on that track of listening to something every single day, or at least finishing maybe a book a week. That way I can make sure that I stick to this goal and I actually accomplish it. I have to buy and complete Grace Beverly's business course, which she is literally my number one. Like, if I had to imagine someone who is literally my vision board in a human being, it's always been Grace Beverly, like 1000% since the OG Grace Fit UK days. So when she came out with a business course, business guide, whatever it was, I was like, this is an absolute must, but it is a little bit expensive. So it's something I have to save up for. And then this is something that's going to be a little bit hard to plan right now because I obviously don't have it and I can't look at all the modules and things like that to really make a plan for this. But once I buy it, I'll be able to kind of break down this goal, and you'll see what I mean in a second when I show you how I break down all the other goals. I have to get my nutrition certification on here. If you didn't know, I am a certified personal trainer. I have my CPT from NASM, and so for my continuing education courses, things like that I want to do, one of them is to get my nutrition cert, which is probably the most important one in my eyes at the moment, so I definitely want to take the steps towards that. I also would like to read 20 fiction books in this year because I've just been slacking on my fiction reading. I had a really good streak a few years ago. I was reading very heavily every single day, finishing books so fast, but I just lost it and I don't know what happened. So I just really want to get back into it. So if you have any thriller or mystery or I don't know, anything in that realm of books to recommend me, please comment them down below because I am in a rut and I don't even know where to start. I have somehow completely gotten off of book talk, so I don't even know what's going on right now. I don't know what's popular. I don't know what new authors are up and coming, so I need all the help I can get. I also want to take a coding class. If you didn't know, I am building a fitness and mindset app right now, and I am building a web-based app, which means coding is not necessarily required, but it could be helpful to add certain blocks into the app that could make the user experience a little bit better. So I definitely want to learn more about that and just kind of see what things I could use to enhance my app overall. And last two, I want to get back into meditation and journaling again because I've been slacking. I was really good when I lived alone, and for some reason, now that my boyfriend and I live together, I just feel like I haven't figured out exactly where to fit those two things into my routine, which is absolutely an excuse, but I need to just figure it out and kind of tweak things around and see where I can actually commit to it and do it every single day again. We're almost there. For my budget category, I have save $10,000 in my emergency savings, which is a very lofty goal considering currently my emergency savings has maybe $400 in it. So is this a little bit of a reach? Yes. But do I think I can do it because I am just delusional enough that I'll be able to do it? Yes. I also have saved $5,000 to quit my job, which again, lofty goal for a girl who has $400 in her savings account. I really want to save 3 months of my expenses separate from my emergency fund, just in case I completely flop and something just absolutely does not go my way and I completely fail and cannot pay my bills. So I want to have an extra little buffer space that I can use to feel comfortable enough to actually quit my corporate job and go full time on owning my business, running an app, doing all those things, and possibly doing more YouTube and podcast things, which would be a bonus, obviously. But yeah, I don't know. It feels really lofty, but I also just kind of feel like it's a good choice to make. I feel like I'd be looking back at this in a year and be like, wow, I actually fucking did that, and that's crazy. So that is what we're manifesting. That is what I'm sticking to. I also want to pay off my credit card. I don't even have that much money on my credit card. It's just one of those things that by the time payday comes around and by the time I pay off all my other bills, I'm like, oh fuck, I still haven't paid that one off. So that is a big priority. I would like to invest $2,000 total over the course of the year. Right now, I'm only investing $50 a month. It's not really a huge priority for me because again, my priority is to save and to save as much as I can for those emergency funds and quitting my job fund. But I just think in general, investing is obviously a smart decision, and with inflation and the things like that, I kind of have no choice. So it's something I definitely want to do. I would like to create a consistent budget and stick to it, and I would also like to have 2 no spend months in the year 2025, which is a big goal for me because I don't think I've ever done that in my entire life. So I would like to save $1,000 for Christmas gifts because right now it is obviously coming up on Christmas season and I'm stressing because I'm like, wow, I have no money to buy people gifts and get them the things that they deserve. So next year, I don't want to be in this place. I want to be able to be like, I have this money set aside for Christmas gifts and I'm not going to have to stress about not being able to give people the things that I actually want to give them, because right now I feel like I'm having to give people gifts that they're gonna like, but they're not what I imagined for them. You know what I mean? So that's not gonna happen next year. I also would like to do less than 12 Amazon orders in the entire year, just because I feel like when I'm shopping on Amazon and when I'm buying things on Amazon, it's a lot more, it's obviously an easier option than going in and buying things, which is obviously to a fault for a lot of people, including myself. So I would like to just limit my number of Amazon orders. I feel like 12 is a good place to start. I also want to do less than 2 Shein orders all year. Like I said, I am unfortunately currently powered by Shein in a lot of my clothes because they're just the thing that I can really afford right now. And I obviously would still be supporting them by even having this goal in general, but I think it's a good place to start because I think going cold turkey on things is not always the most realistic, and when it comes to some things, it just makes more sense for me to buy them on Shein than it does to buy something that costs the amount that my entire Shein order would cost. And I think when it comes to things, especially like corporate wear and things like that, these are things that I'm not really gonna wear outside of work, and I don't want to necessarily work in this job for the rest of my life. So buying $60, $70 shirts is just not really the most realistic for me at this point in my life. So again, keeping it under 2 is the goal, and I think that's pretty realistic for me, honestly. Lastly, for my business goals, I would like to get 1,000 subscribers in the app, which is lofty for me at this current moment, but again, we're being Delulu in the best way here. I also want to launch a new fitness or mindset program every single month in 2025. This feels like a big goal, but I also know that if I plan everything out correctly, this could be very doable. I have continue upgrading the app on here because that's just kind of a general goal, and you'll see how I add all the tasks into here. So this is more of a catch-all for everything else app related that I'm gonna use to break down into smaller tasks. On here, I have hit 50,000 subscribers on YouTube. Again, a lofty goal considering I'm pretty sure I'm at like 72. So if you can dream it, you can do it. Am I right? I have post 2 videos a month on the app YouTube channel, which is my Duality app YouTube channel that I have not posted one long form video on ever. So I really just want to kind of put more things about the app on there and take the time to actually film those and make them look decent. So I also have hit 50,000 followers across all 3 platforms on all 3 of my accounts. So I have a personal account, podcast account, and my app account on all 3 accounts. I would like to just get I would ideally like to have 500,000 followers across all of those technically 9 platforms. Does that make sense? So not 50,000 on each, just 50,000 across the conglomerate of options. I would like to relaunch my t-shirt line, which I used to have when I had a business partner and we had our own business a few years ago. We had a full line of t-shirts and hoodies and things like that, and I loved it so much and I miss it so much, so I definitely want to look back into that. And lastly, I have to make $10,000 in my business bank account. So now that we have all of these goals set up, I'm gonna show you how I break things down into individual tasks. So basically what I'm gonna do, and I'm not gonna do this for every single one, because sometimes I do this as the year goes on and as I decide that I'm actually ready to start working on a specific goal. So I have my goals as one database in Notion, and I also have goal tasks in a database. These are linked together. So this is where you get down to the nitty gritty. So you would want to break every single goal into actionable tasks that are going to actually help you achieve that goal. So for this one, I might add in things like start an email campaign. I need to update my sales page, and pretty much you would just kind of add anything on here that could help you reach this goal. I also have things broken down into either a project or a habit, and that's because on my homepage I have them in 2 separate spots. So things like meditation for me would be marked under a habit, because that's a habit that I'm trying to build. It's not necessarily a project that I'm working on. So basically, I will do this for every single goal that I have, and I'm just going to be breaking it into as many tiny little tasks as humanly possible. Sometimes they're very, very detailed. Sometimes they're not really. Sometimes they're a little bit more broad. Like something like having a date night once a month isn't something that I'm going to really have to break down into tasks, but it is something that I want to have on my goals page every single month when I come back to look at this and plan out what I really want to focus on that month. So not every single one of these goals is going to have a very detailed goal task list, but most of them will, because most of them can be broken down into smaller tasks. And so how I do it is every single month when I do my reset, I have my giant list of goal tasks that I will look at, and it's going to show me everything on there, and I will just pencil them into my calendar wherever I see fit. And then what I do is I have my daily little dashboard that I look at, and I haven't updated this in a while, so this might be a little bit scary, but monthly when I go through and I add everything to my calendar, I have it set up on my main page with a filter here so that it shows me anything that is a project. So it shows me anything that's a project that is unchecked and the date due is on or before today. So even if I'm scheduling something on, say, the 16th of the month, and I actually can't do it on that day, I just put it on the calendar so that I can have a reminder of the fact that it needs to be done. And then if the 16th passes and I didn't get to it yet, it will still show up on this list for me because the due date has technically passed. And I also have this, I don't have any habits right now, but I have that set up for my habits as well. That just shows me what's due every single day. If you want a more in-depth kind of run through of how I set this up, I will definitely be doing a monthly reset for January, because that's when we're really going to hit the ground running and we are going to get shit done. We are going to make 2025 our most productive year yet. So if that's something you're interested in, please let me know, because I definitely will be doing one, so I might as well record it, but we'll see if I can even figure out how to edit this properly. But other than that, that's really all I have for you today. So I really hope that this was helpful in some kind of aspect. Again, I'm still learning how to use Notion, so I'm not necessarily the best expert on this, but I think it's really fun to see how other people plan their lives and plan their goals and things like that. So I hope you got at least something out of this. Until next time, be kind to your mind, to your body, and to others, and happy healing.